But now we get him on the phone because I don't know what happened to the video stream, which was awesome. Did you get chased off the beach by the cop, the same cop who ran after that guy who had a surfboard and was paddle boarding a couple of months ago, right in the water, Andrew?
No, I didn't hear you or see you.
We had you perfectly clear. You had your sunglasses on.
Had a Rams T-shirt on.
You had a long sleeve Los Angeles Rams. Are you wearing long pants? Because you look like you were protected.
It's not long sleeves. I didn't see you or hear you. How are you, Doug?
I'm good, man. Now, how are you on the beach when everything is in quarantine? Does Governor Newsom know, and why aren't you wearing a mask?
I actually am wearing a buff over my face, and there's no restriction for the beach. That was only for 4th of July week.
Now, let me ask, which particular beach are you on now?
I am in the South Bay. I am in Manhattan Beach.
That's good, man. Yeah, you don't want to be at Venice Beach. You don't know what you'll find in the sand there or on the boardwalk. Andrew Siciliano with a rare off day. So I had Golick on, Mike Golick, my first partner at ESPN, and now Andrew. We started at Fox Sports Radio. Coincidence? You're supposed to say, I think not. Come on, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think not.
I hate to do
It's
it.
watching the surfers.
No, I'm sorry. Wait, what did I miss there?
I was talking about the whole bit we had Mike Golick on last hour and then Andrew Siciliano the next hour. Coincidence, and the line is I think not.
I don't know the line. Where's that from?
I don't know. I just heard it for years.
I don't know the line.
Is he low-key faded?
I think are you low? No, because you get a day off. There's a lot of football going on, and you get a day off, and you go to the beach.
I have no idea what the line is. I was waiting for you to finish your damn thought.
Is he hanging with Ezekiel Elliott on the beach?
Are you like, I know you're in L.A., Manhattan Beach, man. That's a cool place, bro.
I honest to goodness, have no idea what you're talking about.
I know there's a lot. Is there a lot of talent on a Friday afternoon on the beach in Manhattan Beach this afternoon?
No, thankfully it's empty. If there were people here, I wouldn't be here.
You're the only person on the beach?
No, I'm not the only person
on
the beach, but it's reasonably empty. I don't go to the beach on weekends when it's filled with people. That's stupid and reckless. It's not like I'm going to move to Jackson. So, I come to the beach on, if I'm lucky enough to have a weekday day, and then I'll come to the beach and just put my feet up and read a book when there aren't people.
Andrew Siciliano, of course, it's not kind of awkward, and I apologize for making this awkward, but we need to talk some football, man. I wanted to ask you, because I heard you were on the beach, I saw you on the beach, and then all of a sudden you're gone.
I want to know what book he's reading.
Yeah, what are you reading right now?
I am reading a book by Sally Jenkins, and it's actually about, it's called The Real American, of the Native American school that was set up in Carlisle by an Army general in the late 1800s.
The War College, yeah.
No. It was specifically for Native Americans, and they took off a reservation to the west. They shipped them to Carlisle, and then eventually they started playing football.
Jim
and then
Thorpe.
They started playing all the Ivy. Yeah. Eventually Jim Thorpe, all the Ivy League teams. I'm reading about that.
Wow.
It's actually really interesting.
As Vin Scully would say during a Dodger broadcast, what's interesting to note here about Carlisle, Pennsylvania, I applied for a job at a Carlisle, Pennsylvania radio station right out of college and was turned down for the job. I couldn't work in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. That's how little regard.
It's just like Michael Jordan getting cut off his baby back.
Exactly right.
Yes, but different.
All right, now you guys are about this crap. You guys are about jumping in to football, training camps, and now we got a lot of developments. Everybody's looking at baseball. People are talking about the Buffalo Bills. They sent their rookies home. Now they're doing virtual learning sessions on the internet. So are you concerned as a person who works at the NFL Network, and this is your career, and of course, the Red Zone Channel and all the other good stuff, are you starting to be worried, and are your colleagues at the NFL Network starting to worry about football maybe not returning? I know Kyle Brandt is, and he was going crazy the other day about all the negativity about people who appear to be so over the top rooting for football not to come back because they're so concerned for everybody else when this is their job.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's rooting for not to come back. I think that's silly. I didn't see I don't honestly remember what Kyle tweeted. I know everyone was up in arms about it. I was on the air at the time. As for getting worried, I don't know that anyone's worried. I just think that it's reasonable for anyone to say that no one knows what tomorrow is going to look like in any line of work. You know, we think baseball is wonderful, then you wake up and you read about you think this is happening, and then, you know, you wake up and you realize that this game is canceled, and you think we're going back to school, and we're not going back. This store's open, that store's closed. So I don't know that anyone is worried. I just think no one knows. They're hopeful, they're optimistic. I think what like Doug Peterson said this week, he says, you know, he feels amazingly safe in the building, that it's actually one of the safest places to be. And I know that sounds backwards, but realize these guys have to test negative 3 times in 4 days to even enter the damn building. So, I mean, that's a lot safer than standing in line at Target and getting your temperature taken. You know, this is an entirely different level. Matter of fact, you could argue that it's the most stringent health check in any business, in any building in America.
Yep.
Which is great now. The question becomes, how does that now work eventually when everyone starts playing football? That's the question. I'm actually pretty confident we'll get to week 1. I'm actually very confident. But once we get there, then no one knows how the games will play out. And that is the big question that truly no one has an answer to. You can be optimistic, but you also have to be pragmatic. And we just don't know.
I hear you. Now, Andrew, the people are wondering whether you have the old Jay Glazer cell phone line out there or the Bill Moss superphone from back in the day.
Bill Moss superphone.
How many people remember that? Remember Bill Moss,
Yeah, sure.
the offensive lineman in the NFL, and he was a big time analyst. And then he had the Bill Moss superphone.
So it might be my favorite football celebrity endorsement ever, right up there with when Dick Butkus used to sell hibachis at North Avenue Beach in Chicago, right by Lakeshore Drive on one of those like 3 a.m. infomercials. You ever see that one?
Oh yeah. By the way, we got a listener. We got a listener on our Twitch stream watching us. Said that Bill Moss is his uncle because he's a Delaware County, Pennsylvania guy.
Wow.
The great Bill Moss.
Wow. You get Bill Moss fanboys.
Brian in Bridgeport.
That's
who it
Bridgeport.
is.
By the way, people are asking about, do you have a Sports Illustrated football phone, perhaps? Because you're a little dicey. Your connection's a little dicey. Sometimes it sounds
I'm sorry,
good.
It's the wind. I don't have a Bill Moss superphone or a Sports Illustrated phone. I did, however, back in the day, have one of those hamburger phones. Remember those?
No.
Look them up. Google hamburger phone right now, and they were touch-tone phones, and they looked like a hamburger, like a plastic hamburger.
Yes.
And then you opened them up. Remember those?
A friend of mine had one of those.
No.
I remember.
And I wish I still had it because I could probably sell it on eBay for like $1,000.
Exactly right.
Well, I know Andrew's a Syracuse guy, right?
Absolutely.
So he's reading a book about Carlisle. What is the relationship between Carlisle and Syracuse? Can you name this person?
Oh, gosh. Billy Owens?
Bang.
That's
That
great,
is
Billy
great.
Owens. Now,
That's
let me
a
give
great
you a roaring
job.
round of applause. You know, all these Syracuse guys, they may not look smart, but every single one that I allow on this show, because I don't allow every Syracuse guy on, but every one we have.
We have a quota for
We
Syracuse
do have a
guys.
Syracuse quota on this program.
I'm glad I helped you hit the number today.
All right, Andrew, now the other story, which broke earlier today, and that is the Antonio Brown saga. Remember, he was complaining. First, he said he retired again for the second time. Then he came out a couple days later and said, you know, all I want is the NFL to give me closure on this stuff so that I can see if somebody wants to hire me. And so the NFL apparently said, hey, you know what? 8 games, conduct detrimental to the league, so you're going to have to sit. If you sign somewhere else, you'll sit for the first 8 games. Will someone sign him now that this stuff has been cleared? The league decision has been made. I don't know what the legal settlement will be, but I think it's a civil case, right?
Yeah, there's still a civil case out there. Listen, there's enough interest and there's enough smoke. I think someone will probably sign him, but the idea that somebody can sign him and that Antonio Brown won't do something to, for lack of a better description, definite between now and week 9, to me, those chances are slim. I mean, the guy retired 3 weeks ago, and then 3 days later he said he didn't retire. Then he did retire, then he didn't retire. I mean, bless Lamar Jackson's heart. I know it's in the right place, but when he came out a couple of days ago and said that he had worked out with Antonio Brown, and there's no quit in that guy. Are you kidding me? That's all he does is quit. I mean, look up week 17, 2018, where he quite literally quit on the Steelers by every definition of the word QUIT, and didn't go out there when they played a game that they had to win to get into the post. By the way, playoffs. Or go back and look at all the nonsense last year with the Raiders. I'm not making fun of mental health issues. Quite the opposite. I hope the guy gets some help, but he's almost like the NFL's Kanye. He's brilliant when he's on the field, but can you ever trust him to get on the field? And someone may sign him, but, you know, the odds that he can walk a straight and narrow and do all the right things down the field week 9, I'll believe it when I see it. I hope it happens because he's a charming guy. I know you guys, you walk away for 5 minutes after talking to the guy and you go, I get it. I get what. No way.
Andrew Siciliano, by the way, Pop Warner also coached Carlisle.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I did
Pop
not
Warner,
know
a big part. Yes, Pop Warner, a big part of this book. Yes.
Wow.
Andrew, I'd like to, being from Philadelphia, I'd like to thank the NFL Network for putting the big chip on Carson Wentz's shoulder by leaving him out of the top 100 players.
Okay. Thank the players who voted. Don't thank the network.
No, the local radio stations thank you for giving them 2 days of content.
Exactly.
So they can complain about the NFL networks. Because, you know, list, no matter what the list is, Andrew, even your laundry list, people would argue over.
Listen, it's America loves listing things, and let's face it, when we've had 4 months, I don't even know how long, 4 months without sports, all we do is list things. To begin with, I mean, we used to do the show, spread it out over 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Now we did the show in 2 nights. So, Carson Wentz is good at football. I don't think anyone doubts that. I think all the questions that anyone had with Carson Wentz before the show are the same after the show. We could sit here and argue if Patrick Mahomes should have been number 1, how Russell Wilson was number 2, but that was the first time he'd ever shown up in the top 10 on the show, which is absurd. How is Alvin Kamara only number 41? That doesn't make any sense, or 42, whatever he is. It's a list done by the players, some of whom take it more seriously than the others. And here's the other thing, too, is I don't know if it's changed, but there are really no instructions given to the players. It's not, hey, who had the best season? Or who do you think has the most overall talent? Or who do you think is most valuable to his team? They simply say, who are the top 100 players? And they are handed. So everyone can kind of interpret the ballot in their own way. Thus, the answers are kind of.
Andrew Siciliano, and again, I just got reminded of it, but I was watching the segment. You had a segment where you were doing your show from your house, and there was a guy using a weed whacker or a hedge trimmer outside, and it was on the air. Then you go to the beach, and now you got the wind. Have you done a broadcast without any kind of interference of any way, shape, or form in the background since you've been working out of your home and not out there at the NFL Network on Culver Boulevard?
I haven't been in the studio since March 18th. We haven't done a show in that building. Well, I take it back.
I know you haven't.
Yeah. So I thought the hedge trimmer was actually pretty funny. I think it livened up an Ian Rappaport update on Kevin Stefanski play calling, to be honest with you.
Wait a minute. Did you just rip Rap Sheet? You're saying that Ian Rappaport talking about Kevin Stefanski's play sheet needed to be interrupted by your neighbor using a hedge trimmer? What kind of insulation do you have in your place? What kind of building do you live in where you can hear a guy with a hedge trimmer outside?
It's not about insulation, Tony. It's about the fact that the houses where I live are right on top of each other, and there's basically like a body's width of an alley between my house and my neighbor's house, and he had a damn hedge trimmer out there, and the bedroom from which I do the show, I have the desk right by the window, and it was loud as you know what. I thought it was kind of fun. I got to liven up the show.
No, you know me. People think I'm seriously ripping you over this. I love that kind of stuff. That's what I live for. I live for people ripping each other.
And actually, Andrew, we were hoping that you were going to be able to do the Zoom call on your bike ride this morning so that we could do a virtual bike ride with you.
Two things. Number one, that would have absolutely sounded awful. That would have sounded worse than this sounds. And number two, the odds of me wrecking my bike live on the show would have been high.
Yeah, but that would have been great ratings.
You would have been viral on the show, and then we would have posted it and made like $10 on the internet by doing it.
Right, and then I would have been in the hospital with a broken leg and truly gone viral when I got a virus.
No, you would have been, you would have said, hey, the trivia question would have been, what do Tom Coughlin and Andrew Siciliano have in common? You saw what happened. You saw what happened to them, right?
With Syracuse and bike accidents. Yeah, that's what we have in common.
Exactly. Well, 4 fractured ribs, a punctured lung, head stitches, and he was riding his bike in Jacksonville and said another man on a racing bike out of nowhere clipped the front of his bike, and down went, this guy's 73, so luckily he's okay. I mean, that's got to be scary, man. Yeah. No matter who you are, how old you are, when somebody comes out of nowhere and clips you on a bike.
I almost ran someone over this afternoon who just wasn't looking. Of course, I'll take my blame, but it wasn't my fault. I got a heads up, and someone is just meandering across the bike path, walking on 2 feet, staring at their phone, not looking nor aware that they're crossing a bike path. Do you want to get run over?
Yeah, we used to go those bike paths down on the beach all the time, Tony and I, and you're right. People, it clearly says bicycle path.
It doesn't even say it. It's the universal sound for no walking on the bike path. It has like the big X out, no people. Right. And then you have to ring your bell and you have to yell at these people because they're all tourists and they don't realize. I mean, how do you not understand the international symbol for do not walk?
No, it's real simple. If you're going from the parking lot to the beach, that's fine. That's why the parking lot is next to the beach, so you can drop your car and walk to the beach. Just take your face out of your phone and look up and realize that you are crossing a path with moving vehicles. It's really not hard.
Exactly right.
It's really not hard. It's really not that. By the way, speaking of bikes, Judy Battista responded to that video yesterday that she said, I will gladly trade, I'm paraphrasing, trade the hedge trimmer for mine. And she lives in Manhattan, who just bought an exercise bike or a Peloton or something and has it directly above where she does her stuff from every day.
Now, who was this? I missed the name because it
the great Judy Battista.
Oh, Judy Battista. Yeah, I know Judy Battista. Yes, I didn't catch the full name because it blipped a little bit there. So I lived in Venice Beach. I love when I heard the hedge trimmers and the grass cutters. Because that would be January when everybody else is freezing, and I'd be watching people cut grass. You know what I'm saying?
It beats watching paint dry.
Exactly right. So when does it crank up? Now, you're going to be back doing the DirecTV NFL Red Zone channel, the original Red Zone?
Yes, sir. That would be the 13th of September. Let's just get there.
How many years will this be now? Because
this will be year 16, believe me.
Wow.
That's a long run, man.
Years of doing NFL Red. And, we know your buddy who does it on the NFL Network, the great Chris Hansen. No, Chris Hansen does it. He just says, will you say, hey, Andrew, why don't you come here and sit down at my countertop? And I got a little something to show you. No, Scott Hansen does it, but you're the granddaddy of them all, man.
You are far too kind. And as I was thinking about this morning, actually, because tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of me moving here. So I figure your 20th anniversary would have just happened like a couple of months ago because you came out a couple of months before, I believe I did, in the year 2000. So I always go back to the same line. It's the old PSA from the 80s, right, where the dad opens up that box in the closet and says, son, why are you doing this? And he says, from you, Dad. I learned it from you, right? So that's why I'm still here, Tony. That's the only way I've survived. From you. I learned it from you.
Well, thank you, Andrew. I know you're full of crap, but by the way, we're gonna have Colleen. We're gonna have Colleen Wolfe on more regularly than you, man. I was wondering why I haven't had you back on again. And we had Colleen on last week on Zoom, and I had to rip you for always bagging me when I get to you on Twitter, when I DM you and you don't respond. Like, you're big time, man. I get it.
Wait a minute. You DM'd me, and I immediately responded 10 seconds later to Robin. Because she was trying to set it up.
Yes, and well,
Mike Golick doesn't big time. He came on my show after his last show at 22 years at ESPN.
And he was hammered.
Which was awesome.
I'm here. How am I big timing?
I'm joking. See, you're still ultra sensitive, man. You moved to California from the East Coast, and then you become soft, man. I knew it would happen eventually, man. You become soft.
That's me. You got it right. You totally got it right.
One last thing, Andrew, and I really need this explained to me because I don't quite understand the logic behind it. Going to the beach and then completely bundling up. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of going to the beach?
Why do you guys think I'm bundled up?
Because when the momentary glimpse we had of you on Zoom that we were able to see,
he looked bundled up.
He looked bundled. It looked like you had a turtleneck kind of shirt on.
No, he had a Ram Chic T-shirt on, right?
You guys are totally wrong. I had a short sleeve Nike dry fit shirt on. Yeah, I just got here like 10 minutes ago, and I was thinking of, if we're going to do this, I'm not doing it shirtless, so I kept my shirt on.
No, you kept the pant. Now you have the thong on, though. Do you have the thong? Because we don't have to see you guys under, from the waist down, so you could be wearing nothing
on the set.
Exactly.
I can guarantee you, I'm wearing swimming trunks, and I have a buff thing, like a gaiter,
that was around your neck.
Gaiter.
Okay.
Gator.
By the way, the choice to not go shirtless was the wrong choice.
Because I know you're jacked. I know you're in there working on the Peloton and lifting the heavy weights, and you're probably all ripped out there.
I haven't lifted a weight in like 5 years.
I hate to do it. I said you were soft, and now you've just confirmed it, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to do it to you, dude.
Or the other answer is I broke my neck and I've decided to not lift heavy weights.
That would be excusable.
That's,
Hey, man.
I mean, that's the other possibility.
Wait a minute. Do you even lift, bro? That's right, man. How can you live in California? Did somebody come up to you and say, "Do you even lift, bro?"
No, because I'm not going to let anyone get near me.
Andrew Siciliano on the beach, man. Chilling. Low-key faded, brah. Low-key faded, as we like to say back in the day, man. Hey, man, appreciate you popping on. Even on your day off, man. I appreciate you. Next time, get a better signal, man.
I love you guys. You know that.
All right, man. Take care, brother. There he is, Andrew Siciliano. Let's put your hands together.